Hey, what is up, everyone? It is Coach Damon here. I wanted to do a video breakdown of a young goalie, Ashley Deliberto. Is a member of the Lax Goalie Rat Academy, and as being a member of the Lax Goalie Rat Academy, you get to send me your tape, and I'll analyze it and break it down. So I did that with Ashley. Or I'm going to do that with Ashley, and I wanted to share this video with all of you guys so you can take out some of those learning tips and apply them to your own game. All right, let's get right into it. First general comment is if you guys are doing a video like this, especially if it's on YouTube, in the title screen, I would throw some way to contact you, right? So if someone comes across this video and they like what they see and they want to reach out, just put your email on this title slide. I'm not familiar with this platform, ncsasports.org. Maybe there is a way to contact you, but if not, it doesn't hurt to include it on the title screen, okay? Just a general comment. Let's go to the video. The first thing I like to do is analyze the stance, okay? And Ashley's dad emailed me and said she'd only been playing for 2 years. She's a competitive swimmer and got into lacrosse and, of course, wanted to be the goalie, so that is awesome. So she's had very little lacrosse goalie coaching, and this is actually a great stance for someone with no coaching, right? Very athletic, nice bend in the knee, nice bend in the hips. I like the hand position. I like everything about this stance. She appears to be about, I'm going to say my height, 5'8" or so, if I had to guess. This is an absolute great stance, and as much as you can, replicate this stance. There are points throughout this video as we get into some of the other shots where pre-shot you do not have this stance. So this is an 8-meter play, right? So you have a little bit more of a opportunity to get set up in your stance, but as much as you can, replicate this stance. This is a great stance. What I don't really like is as we play this video, let me move my head up here. As we play this video, you can kind of see, you take a little bit of a step towards the goalie, and when the shot is released, your feet are actually in the air. And what we want is to be really set in our stance and ready to move in either direction. And if one of your feet is in the air, guess what? If you need to explode off of that foot to move, you've got to plant it and then explode, okay? So it wastes time and is not the ideal setup. So work on that. Work on being still and set when the shot comes. And you can kind of see right here, it's a little bit of a beginner's bad habit, right? As a goalie, every goalie is scared of the ball when you first start. I was, and it looks like you are a little bit as well, because when the shot comes, you're moving away from it and then trying to sort of stab that shot, right? As opposed to exploding right through the ball with our body and driving our hands to that ball and exploding through it to make the save. So that will come with time. That will come with experience and practice. But notice that, like feel that when when your body sort of pulls away and you're making these ole type of saves. All right, let's continue. When you watch a goalie cradle and clear, you can usually get a sense of, is this goalie a great stick handler, or is this goalie someone who needs to hit the wall and improve their stick handling? And just watching you're definitely on the side of this goalie needs to hit the wall and improve your stick handling, okay? So do exactly that. Wall ball, work on stick handling, work on some dodges so that it just, when you're handling the stick, you just appear super comfortable and fluid, and that will help your goalie game. That will help you at the next level. That will help with your clears, all right? Whoa. I don't know what was going on off the screen. Maybe there was a girl on your team who was wide open, but that seemed like a really risky pass, right? Especially given all of this free area that you had, and you were under no pressure. So, again, maybe there was someone wide open. I don't know, but it just seemed very risky. And as much as you can, take your time on those clears to successfully clear the ball. Okay, on this one, let me back up. Right there. So as you can see, you're already out, like extended, fully extended. all right? And when you do that, you've essentially shown the shooter your cards, right? You've already committed to one particular area. And when you get to the higher levels of the girls' game, and even the boys' game for that matter, with a lacrosse stick, it's just way too easy to change the angle of the shot and shoot around you or shoot low, right? So when you come all the way out, you are showing your cards, you've already committed, and for a shooter, it's going to be very easy for them to shoot around you. So I would not recommend that technique. What I would recommend is staying back in your stance, and then once you see the shooter commit, then we go to make the save. Then we drive our hands to the ball to make the save, as opposed to just trying to get out there in their face. All right, so that's a technique that I would recommend. And the other thing is it kind of looks like you're a little bit too far down on the shaft in your grip, in your top hand grip, okay? So the way that I played is I like to have my top hand touching the plastic, all right? There's a lot of goalies that like to actually grip the plastic, and then the STX Eclipse 2, they've got this really nice, comfortable grip. I didn't like that approach. That doesn't feel comfortable to me, but a lot of goalies do. A lot of goalies like it. A lot of goalies have success with it. If you're a little bit smaller goalie, I'm okay with you coming down like a half inch to be able to get a little bit more reach to reach those corners, but it looks like you're down here. And when you're down here, you just don't have as much hand-eye coordination or movability of the stick head. So I would alter that in your top hand setup. And you're a great young goalie. I mean, you make a lot of these saves relying on pure athleticism. So everything I say here is just in the name of getting better and improving, okay? Again, a little bit like a very nice save, but you could wait just a second longer for when she commits as opposed to coming out in that full extended area, right? Because, you know, even right there as a college level goalie, even some high school level goalies will just be able to shoot right around you. But very nice save. Again, great stance right there, right? You can see the difference between this stance and even when this play happens or when this play starts, like you're in a great stance. There is a video inside of my Lax Goalie Rat Academy where I teach moving on the arc, right? Like going from one place to another on the arc. Check out that video and analyze it because you're in a great stance right here, but notice then as soon as this play gets going, like you see how, like, I don't know if the shot's been released at that point, but you see that stance. Right? That stance is very, very different than the stance you were in before. The stance you're in before is the one you want. This one being upright, kind of with your hands, you know, not in a good position, not being balanced on both feet is not ideal for making saves. Okay. And of course, you make the save, very nice save, relying on athleticism, but you'll make more saves over time, you know, by being balanced. Good footwork to get to that far post. I like that right there. Nice save. Very nice save. Let's analyze this play because this is really interesting. In this scenario, I'm actually totally fine with you coming out, right? So right here, you've got a girl wide open on the crease, and that's probably what, like 1.5 to 2 yards? And she's wide open. And this other defender of yours is like honing in on her, right? So you know as soon as she catches that, she has to shoot, right? She doesn't really have time to make a cradle, doesn't really have time to throw a fake and then shoot because you have someone crashing down. And as a result, 100% the right play is to come out and cut down that angle. Because if you're back here on your normal arc, right, you're just giving up way too much of the goal. So in these scenarios, you read the play, and yeah, I love coming out, cutting down that angle, right, and making this shooter shoot to a much smaller space, and indeed, you make the save. One thing you can do here, bam. So as soon as you make the save and the ball is out, like when that happens, as long as it's not a threat, like the ball's on the ground, right, like I'm yelling and pointing at the ball. right? Because you can kind of see this girl right here gets confused a little bit. She doesn't know where the ball is. So I'm yelling and pointing, ball, 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 right? So I let my entire team know where the ball is and also fire them up a little bit. So that's a little tip you can take into your game anytime there's a rebound. Yeah, you can kind of see, I mean, here is the shot's about ready to happen. Here's your stance, right? And notice that this stance is way different than that 8-meter stance. Way different than that 8-meter stance. Get into that 8-meter stance when these shots are happening, right? You can see you're not balanced. All your weight is on your left foot. So if the shot is to your left, the correct save movement is you need to plant your right foot and explode off of that in that direction. And it's just going to take too much time because it's in the air, okay? All right, on this shot, we have a little bit of that same, a little bit of that same scared of the ball attitude as I mentioned before, right? Instead of exploding to your right through the ball, driving your hands to the ball, notice the body kind of comes back and then you try and stab at it. So good save technique. We drive right through the ball and we're not scared of it. And again, that comes with time. That comes with reps. You'll learn that. Right there is a good stance, right? It looks like at the beginning, I don't know if you're just getting into it right there with the chicken wing. Like I don't like that chicken wing because it's hard to make the save movements, right? Our wrists are behind the stick, our elbows are behind the stick, and that allows us to do all of the different save movements that we need to. Off stick hip, off stick low, off stick high, whatever we need to, all right? You do kind of get, bam, like that is the stance right there. You see how your elbow then is now behind it? Perfect stance. Perfect stance. I wouldn't change anything about that stance, and this is what I keep saying. This is the stance I would love to see more of when shots are coming at you in the non-8-meter situations. Awesome save. Awesome save. Right? Boom. You see how, your hands kind of drive. If I'm being nitpicky, the only thing, if that ball is low, your body level can sink a little bit to get low. Being nitpicky there, that is a great save. Absolutely great save. Notice you didn't go away from the ball and kind of stab at it. You go to the ball, step to the ball, drive your hands to the ball. Fantastic save. One thing, I can't really see the crease. It kind of looks like you're out of the crease if I'm looking at it the right way. You can use the back of your stick to clamp, right? Clamp that ball, secure that rebound, pull it back into the crease. I believe in the women's game, the girls cannot reach into the crease. In the men's game, they can, but if you have it clamped, they can't make contact with you, and then your defenders can just clear them out. So as opposed to going directly for the scoop right there, clamp it first, right? Get control of the situation and then scoop it up. So I would, right here, as soon as they get inside of the 8-meter, I mean, she's a threat to shoot right there. She's definitely a threat to shoot right there. And it doesn't look like you're ready for a shot, right? So as a goalie, I mean, we need to be comfortable being in our stance for an entire defensive possession. And I'm okay if they're not a threat to shoot, if you kind of take a break and stand up. But anytime they're even remotely close to being a threat to shoot, we need to be in our stance. And you're not, right? I mean, you're upright, weights on one foot. You then, sort of get into the stance a little bit right there. But, I'd like to see that much, much earlier, okay? Way to go, Ashley. Thank you for sending me that tape. I hope you found those tips useful. I hope everyone watching this found those useful. Remember, inside the Lax Goalie Rat Academy, you can send me your videos for breakdown. I'll see you guys. Take care.